Today, I'm up over $73,000 in the trading day, and today was an awesome trading day. Not because I won and made a lot of money, but more so because I took a loss and I came back and still closed out green. Here were the two trades I took today. Took a loser and took a winner. And today was a day I was very proud about because it showcased our system and what the importance of being patient and not emotional does for you as a trader. So, coming into the open, we ended up seeing a pretty nice sell. Similar to yesterday, we had a pretty productive move coming down into our overnight lows, which were then we saw a push back down but below it. Pretty consolidative overnight session. My bias coming into the open was short. I wanted to see price go down lower. However, unlike yesterday we came in, had a new week opening gap fill, which we had seen price tap perfectly after committing into an entry. Today, missed my entry twice. I had two shorts set up and I missed my entry on both takes, resulting me to miss the move down, be patient, and look for a move later on in the session. If you could see through the Discord notice, you could see one of my first things I did mention for today was bearish opening range move with higher time frame is looking like potential lower draw. Hourly gap fill being 27,724. Would like an entry model for us to ride continuation lower. So at 9:38 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, what I pretty much said is with our bearish opening range move here, with price off the opening coming down into an overnight low and seeing that low being taken out, and most importantly the reaction paired up with your higher time frame look, naturally leaning bearish. The reason I was bearish higher time frame, I didn't overcomplicate it. What we had seen yesterday was a tremendous sell down on the hourly time frame, on the 4-hour time frame, on the daily time frame, and all I looked at was price and structure. There wasn't anything too significant here, but the fact that we had seen a tremendous sell back down met by consolidation through overnight. Overnight price did not showcase one instance of potential reversal back up higher, and on top of that, we had clear sell side targets back down in the case price through New York wanted to see lower. And what do we see price through New York opening range move do right off the open? Well, you see price come down here, and you see price commit into its overnight lows, London low and Asia low for NQ, and you see price have a very bearish reaction even once taking out that low. Had we seen a sweep of the low, had we seen price showcase bullish instance after taking that low, you would have not seen me be as bearish as I was. But being that our higher time frame look, which was simple, identifying clear displacement back down, and then clear structure overnight, which was not showcasing interest in reversal due to the fact that we didn't have our two components when it comes to reversals. A, being a significant low being put in place, and B, being that we see large displacement off the low. We did not see any of that last night, therefore causing me to believe that in the case we saw price come down here and showcase a bearish opening range move, we would see lower, and we would see lower now. We see price come down here, and we see price again showcase good interest past lower, therefore causing me to have interest in taking short. Our first idea of the morning was this: a potential short similar to yesterday may take up to 1 or 2 tries, but conviction and lower price into draw is high. Looking for entry model here. So I was looking for a potential 1-minute gap retest. This was a very similar trade that we ended up taking yesterday, where we had recognized how bearish price was, and all we wanted to do was simply see a small retracement to enter a continuation model trade riding lower. We then see price ultimately offer a potential entry later on, but I see price, or more so what happened here was I missed my entry. And pretty much what I said, because a lot of you guys in chat did end up taking the trade, is I said, missed my fill, but if you know my confirmation, or you know the confirmation, you caught that. And a lot did in chat. Congrats to y'all. I'm now looking at this 1-minute gap rebalance for entry. So my draw, as I mentioned earlier, coming into the open, recognizing the bearish opening range move with all our components, through our bias, was 27,724. That was right here. This is an hourly gap fill that I wanted to see price come down and to trade into once we had seen a bearish opening range move. Trade number 1, which I wanted to see price ride short down into, I missed. It was a beautiful short had we taken off this gap right here, where we had seen good and tremendous follow through lower. Then we simply ended up waiting a bit more, where we ended up looking for a retracement into a 1-minute gap imbalance, looking for price to come down here and violate. So kind of a 2-gap confluence here, where you have A, a bearish gap rebalance, which is a bearish confluence, and then you have B, a bullish gap getting violated and inverting, which is a bearish confluence as well. We eventually come down here and we see price kind of stutter a bit off their entry point, but we eventually end up providing that entry where we then take short off confirmation. We take the trade and we see price for the most part initially chop up, but then we eventually go risk free. I go break even here after seeing price actually come up here and come close to stopping us out. Then we see price come back down and we see good fluidity in movement and draw trading lower. The unfortunate thing here is with our TP being the 30-minute BPR fill, which was below the hourly gap, we did not see price do that. We saw more so price trade at a state of content and wanted to trade at a state where we more so structured out before seeing our next move of distribution. We end up seeing that here. We end up going break even. And instead of being a bitch, whining, complaining, oh, I missed my short, I would have been up a lot of money had I simply, held it through, or had I simply got my entry. We stood patient and we waited. We recognized, sometimes you will miss your entries, and we simply remained calm and waited until price cleared up again. The most important thing, I think, which has helped me as a trader when it comes to identifying, or more so being more productive as a trader, is being okay with not needing to know what every single move will be in the market. So after this consolidation here, it wasn't like I was trying to enter a trade immediately after. I simply waited. I recognized that price was choppy, and you see me mention that after getting stopped out break even. This is now purely chopping. We had recognized that price was at a state of consolidation, and instead of FOMOing back in because we had missed short, we simply waited. We then saw price structure out and put in a good low, more specifically with ES putting in a low off its Asia low. ES came down here in our low of day through New York, was put through taking out and sweeping our overnight lows. Like we talked about earlier, two great ways to identify market structure shift and reversal. You want to see a good low being put in a significant low, and you want to see clear displacement off the low. And we end up getting that here. So we see price come down, put in a good low, Asia low, see structure build up, and then we eventually see price start to pick up again and ultimately see that move up higher. We then flip narrative, instead of marrying bias, recognize price for what it is, and we simply looked to entertain longs. But we wanted to see price pick up first. And we eventually end up seeing price pick up right around where we ended up taking our first trade, which was a 1 minute gap imbalance retest. Now, this trade right here specifically was taken off a very premium entry, and the idea behind this trade, the ideology, was that we were to see price slowly retrace, come back up, and look for a higher draw. Here's the thing, and the reason this trade had stopped out. We ended up utilizing model stop on this trade. A stop was a bit too tight for what conditions were at this point in time. Although we were seeing reversal, price still was not A+. Mind the stop. You don't really necessarily have to blame the stop here entirely, but more so what I blame it is on myself and being a bit impatient. This is a premature take. Someone asked this earlier to me on live. They're like, Lanto, how do you identify premature takes versus good takes? Simply retracements. If you look at in hindsight where we took this trade was a trade taken at a very premium entry, meaning we took this trade at a very high spot of where price was currently trading at. And you see us eventually take this trade here. Our target of interest was an internal wick high. TP2 was London high. But what you don't end up seeing is a proper retracement before seeing price drop higher. Now, you guys know in reversals, I love waiting for retracements because typically reversals offer that because you're going against the grain, you're going against the pivot, and you're looking for a price to drop higher through a reversal. And during reversals or reversal sequences, price isn't as powerful off the initial creation back up than as it is as, trend is moving forward, if that makes sense. So we end up seeing price retrace here as expected because it's a reversal sequence. And instead of waiting, we end up getting caught up off our first take, which was a 1 minute gap rebalance off 1, 2, 3 gaps that I combined in one. We end up seeing price come up here and do confirm nicely off the gap, but it wasn't the right entry criteria to take because it was such a premium entry. We then wait and then simply put a little bit afterwards, after waiting for that retracement in the market and seeing price showcase a move down, then a move right back up, indicating a higher low being formed and indicating a potential reversal back higher. I wanted to see price potentially invert this 1 minute gap, which was also inside a 1 minute gap as well, where we could see price draw up higher and see price trade up higher. We eventually end up coming here, and we eventually end up doing that. As you see me mark out after getting stopped out of the first trade, the ideology behind taking this setup, and you eventually end up seeing me say taking my fill here, 28,848. We take entry. Our break-even stops was a relative high because we had known that this is not a continuation trade. This is a reversal trade still, right? So when you play reversal, like I said earlier, you're playing against sentiment, which is a lot harder to see strong directional movement. So you want to be tight with your risk here. Went break even off the high take, and then we eventually see price immediately push back up and we see price hit target 1, which was a 1.7R, meaning our loss was a -1R, and our take profit 1 interest here was 1.7, meaning you made back your loss and you're up a 0.7R. Take profit 2 was London highs. We end up seeing price come up here, and we see take profit 2 get smashed, which this right here at this point was a 2.5R. Now, through 2 trades, we've had a 50% win rate today. We lost and we won. However, we're up a 1.5R because our winning trade was over 2 times bigger than our losing trade. And this is the power of risk management that I say time and time again. When you follow your system, and for me specifically, when I follow my system and I remain patient, although I missed the short off the morning, although I got stopped out on a long on a clear directional move back up through our bias, I still stuck to my plan. I did not go away from it. I did not shy away from it. I didn't FOMO. I didn't feed into emotions. I stuck to my plan and I kept moving forward. We eventually ended up taking the trade, like I said. We see beautiful take profit get smashed ultimately and end up getting trailed out off this trade here once trailing out very tight to its London high. So beautiful sequence overall, and I hope you guys could see the importance of following your risk system through this video, and most importantly, remaining patient and not feeding into your emotions. With that being said, that's the review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one.